Welcome to the Body Banter. Here we talk openly about chronic pain, anxiety, grief recovery, resilience, no filters, no judgments, just real conversations that connect us. And today I'd like you to meet the master. Please say hello to John W. Green. Can you tell us who you are, John?
Hello, Sean. Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing what I do since 1974. I'm a master clinical hypnotherapist, NLP. I've taught in the past. I don't teach anymore now, but I still help people as much as I possibly can with all sorts of things, ranging from stroke recovery, which I invented a method in 1986 for my own father when he had a massive stroke when he was 49. My dad sadly passed away at age 87. But when he had his stroke, um, I it was a shock to all the full family. His full left side totally went, and I started taking him to physio. And after a few visits, watching the physio bending his arms and legs backwards and forwards, I asked the physio, I said, "What's the object of doing all this?" And she said, "Well, gradually the signal will go back up his arm and reattach itself to his brain." So I said, "Well, we're talking cognitive, but how long does this take?" And she said, "Around about 2 years." So I said, "Well, can't you do it from the brain?" And she went, "Oh, no, 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 that's impossible." So that's like a red rag to a bull because I study the mind. I've been studying the mind for many, many years. So I started inventing metaphors to bombard my father's mind with different metaphors. And what I was what was my aim was to divert the signals around the damaged area. And I came up with a metaphor, which we'll talk about later on different subjects, different topics. But I came up with this metaphor that was so powerful that my dad's limbs started moving and he started speaking okay, and his face lifted up, and I'm watching in shock. And it was back at work in 10
Whoa.
weeks, fully recovered. It was fine in 10 weeks. And I never thought anything of it. I thought, my dad's great. That's it. I've got my dad back. Then my dad said to me, "There's other people out there what need what you can do," which I never thought about. And since then, I have developed, before it was called John Can Help You or John Green Can Help You. So I looked through the Latin books and I found the word shak, S-H-A-K, which means to remedy. And I called it shak therapy, shak stroke therapy. And it's helped not just stroke survivors, it's also helped people with head trauma, cyclists, for instance. For instance, this guy called Martin, he'd been in an awake coma for 12 years. And it was in this home. And the reason I was visiting the home was because a lady, I won't mention anybody's names from now on, but this lady she sent me a message and she'd bought my book because I've written a book called Shak Stroke Therapy. She bought the book and she went through all the procedures and she couldn't do it. So she contacted me through the contacts in the book and asked me if I'd go visit her husband, who he's been put in a home, he's been taken off the national health curriculum, and they said it will never recover. The damage is so bad that we can't do anything. Physio won't help him or anything. It was just laid there in just totally a coma. He was being fed through his navel, and his wife was sat at his bedside. And I arrived, as she asked me to. I arrived at the home. I just saw him laid there, and I thought, "Whoa, this is going to be a challenge." He was just completely unconscious. So I went over to his ear, and I started talking in what I call a hypnotic language, and which we will talk about more because other people can learn this hypnotic language as well. So I started talking in a hypnotic language, and I made him understand that he was on a beach and he could feel the water touching his toes. And then I looked down, I could see his toes moving. I thought, "Oh, I've got him." So I actually did the Shak stroke therapy procedure that I invented and I wrote in the book. I was getting REM, and I'm thinking, "Wow, I've got him. I've actually got him." And his eyes is moving about. So I said to the lady, who was now one of my friends, he's one of my friends as well. I said, "Look, I'm very happy with what's going on here. I think we can go somewhere with this. I'd like to come back next week." And she said, would you mind? I went, no, it's free, by the way. I've never charged anyone for shock therapy. 100% free. I've never charged a penny for shock therapy because everyone is an experiment for me. They're like a fingerprint. They're all unique. You never get the same stroke. You never get the same after effects of a stroke. It's always unique. So I said, I'll come and see you next week. And within about 2 hours later, my WhatsApp pinged and she sent me a video of him sat in a chair drinking a cup of tea.
Way.
2 hours later. And I was blown away. I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is powerful. Then another example was, so we're just, now initially we're talking about shock therapy now. Another example was a lady who was a landlady. We have some videos of this as well, so you can, we'll be able to show the videos later on. And I can tell you her name because she's on the video, called Angie. She was a landlady. She's had quite a lot of strokes. I helped her with all 8 of her strokes. But this one particular stroke, I said, can I video the before and after? And she said, yeah, full left side had gone. You can see her walking towards me, all dragging her limbs, everything. And I did a shock therapy, and you see her 8 minutes later walking and talking perfectly normal. And this is amazing. Then she said to me, could you help my sister? So I said, I don't know. I've never met your sister. Said she had a massive aneurysm when she was giving birth to her son. Her son's now 7. And said, my sister is being cared for by my mum. She can't talk and she can't walk. And she just drinks tea through a straw. And she smoked cigarettes, but she was burning, self-harming her dead arm, the limbs that wouldn't move, her leg wouldn't move, her face to drop. So I said, well, of course I'll go see her. I won't mention her sister's name because she's not on the video and anything. But the long story short, she had a word with the mum, and the mum said, no, I don't want no false promises. And she said she don't want it to go down. So I went, fine. But as the powers that be up there, they said, you are going to go. She needed to go to her mum's, but her car had broke down. So she asked me if I would give her a lift to her mum's. I said, yeah, of course. So I drives down there, and there's her sister sat in this chair, and she's just drooling. She's looking at the floor. She couldn't talk. And she had this cup of tea with a straw next to her so she could move it, suck it. But all her arm was cigarette burns in her arm. It was terrible. And there was 2 ladies there from the spiritualist church doing spiritual healing on her, which is nice. So as we went into the house, my sense of humour, I said to the mother, what letter comes after S in the alphabet? And she said T. And as she said T, the lady who I'm talking about, who went to see, went, I thought, oh, she's in there. She understands what's going on. She was laughing at my geek little daft joke. So I thought, right, so I'm sat opposite her, and I got this cup of tea. And as God is my witness, before I'd even drank half a cup of tea, I had that lady standing up, walking into the downstairs bedroom, talking fine, got herself dressed for the first time. She came back in the living room. She sat down. She took the straw from her cuppa and she threw it on the floor. She said, I don't effing need that anymore. Her mother was crying. Her sister was crying. Her sister's girlfriend was crying. The 2 ladies from the spiritualist church were like, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is brilliant. And it works really good. So this is how I'm finding out how things are actually working for me. I'm just moving because I've got a big giant dog wants to lay next to me. So I do apologise.
So, John, Shak, S-H-A-K, is it?
Yes, Shak stroke therapy.
What does that stand for?
It stands for to remedy.
Oh.
It's Latin. Sorry, can you see my dog?
Yeah.
It stands for to remedy, and it's Latin. Everything what I do, I developed a pain relief technique as well using the mind, and I needed a name for that. So I looked through my Latin books, and I found a word called argon, which is A-A-R-G-O-N, argon, and it means pain gone.
Oh.
So I call that argon, and I've helped people. Like as an example, I've owned a few pubs and clubs, and one of my doormen was stood with his hand near the hatch, and the hatch came down and took all the skin off his knuckles, and he was screaming in agony. So I just went, because he's in agony, the subconscious is crying out for help. And when you woke up with a calm voice, it listens to you. If you woke up with a voice, you'll make them panic and they'll panic and the pain will get worse. When you woke up and you talk in a calm voice, which I did, and I started doing what you call touch talk, where you're talking like this, and as I'm talking, I'm tapping, and I'm talking, I'm tapping. Now, nobody walks up to you and starts tapping you ever. So it diverts the subconscious into what's going on. Now it's diverted away from the pain. It's also the subconscious is listening to me. And I said I want to bring the pain level right down from a 10 right down to number 1. And the reason why I want number 1 is I just want to leave a little bit of pain there just so you can tell the doctors and nurses where it hurts. And as quickly as that, his pain went down to 1, and he was just talking to me calmly like I'm talking to you now. So we did a quick first aid, and it was only around the corner. It was at St Andrew's Club, actually, in Hull, and we took him to Hull Royal Infirmary, and it was absolutely fine. So yeah, the mind is a powerful thing. I love working with the mind, and I can help people with all sorts of different things, all manner of things, and I can give you many examples of what I've done for people as well.
Well, you've been a clinical hypnotherapist since 1974. That's a long time, John.
It is, yeah, it is.
If
I was 15.
Wow, oh yeah, I'm sure, yeah. 15.
I
Oh,
was
right.
15.
I got,
Yeah,
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we don't relate to age and time, when it goes that far back, because some people's maths aren't that good. Right.
well,
Now,
I can tell you how it came about, but we'll do that
yeah,
later on. Sorry, carry on.
there's so much that we need to talk about, John, because the whole objective of the Body Banter is to talk about things, because people don't like talking about their experiences, do they, John? If people suffering because they've lost somebody, they can go into a mental shock, and they don't want to live.
Yes.
You can have people who have severe bad habits, they can't get out of them, that it changes their life. There are so many instances that throughout this program we'll be looking at ways that which the mind or John's hypnotherapy can help heal. And we'll also be showing videos. All we want you to do is, if you've got a problem and you're able to come on here and talk about it, I'm sure John will understand some methods and some ways to help you, if not heal you, in the right way.
Yeah, I can give you techniques as well that you can use at home. It all depends on, obviously, we can't just think of something out of thin air, but, contact us, get in touch, and leave an email so we can contact you and maybe get you onto this show as well, so you can talk to us live. You can, we'll, it's a bit like we are doing now, this very second. You don't need to be shy, and if you want to, we can blur your face out. We can do that without any problem whatsoever. But we'd like you to talk openly about things, and it must be about yourself. Okay, there are people going to come on who are going to say, "I want to talk about my friend," but we can't talk about your friend because your friend needs to talk to us. We can't talk about people without their permission, so we need them to come to us and speak to us. But we'll do our very best to answer any questions, and alleviate any worries, any unnecessary worries. And one of the worries that a lot of people have is with hypnosis itself. And I get people say, "Oh, I don't want nobody taking over my mind. I don't want nobody having power over me." This doesn't work like that. That's stage hypnosis, and that's where you volunteer to be made a fool of. Which I was a stage hypnotist. Worked with the best. One of my best friends is a lovely man, David Knight, and he's in the Guinness Book of Records. We've worked together as a comedy hypnotic duo, the first in Europe at the time. So I've got a pretty good background about the mind and how it works. Stage hypnosis, if I give you an onion and tell you it's an apple, you'll eat it and you'll believe it's an apple. Later on, your breath will smell and you'll think, what have I just been doing? therapy, you are fully aware of everything that is going on. I will not take over your mind, don't take over anything. Hypnosis simply means relaxation, but it's not just relaxation per se, it's relaxation of the body and the mind combined, which is very hard to do. You can relax your body, then later on you'll fall asleep. But when you're awake, and a person like myself can take you down and make you feel so relaxed. A lot of people are very nervous when they first come to see me because they don't know, it's the unknown to them. It's like diving in the deep end, and have you got any life belts just in case I sink? You're not going to be made to do anything silly like you see on the TV, like you see on stage. You're not going to be overpowered and be under somebody's spell. That's a myth. Okay, you will be fully aware. If an alarm goes off and you need to get out of the building, you'll just stand up and walk out. Simple as that. The only reason why people don't like to wake up from this lovely trance is because they're enjoying it so much that they don't want to come back into the room just yet. So I have to threaten them and say, look, if you don't come back, I'm not going to do this to you ever again. And they go, okay. And then they come back. So you will be fully compos mentis. Everything is done above board, and there's nothing sinister about what we do to help you. So just get rid of those little myths and enjoy the experience. Once people have had that first experience, they cannot wait to come back. They can't wait. They're ringing up, can I come a bit early? Yeah, of course you can. So yeah, it's a good experience.
And I think what we'll do, John, is we'll try to protect people's confidentiality as much as we can. So we'll use a different name for that person. And again, if your face don't want to be shown on the channel, then we can blank that out, or we can talk to you without the video being on, I think, as well. We can go to some extremes. Now, there's lots of, there's millions of people in the United Kingdom. I'd like to state on this purpose that we're just going to stick with the United Kingdom at the moment. So if you are in the UK and you've gone through some trauma, some mental abilities, alcoholism, lost a person, anything like that, don't be afraid. You need people like John to listen to you and try and give you some ways to help you. We're not saying that we're medical specialists. We're not. John is a registered clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm a professional teacher and psychologist. So basically, at the end of the day, we're trying to help you overcome those dark days. Now, if you live in Hull, John has do you have an office in Hull?
I don't know. I have had offices. I had offices in Savile Street in Hull, and I find that majority of people didn't come to me, and it was the shy people, the people who had agoraphobia, these sort of people, and so now I do mobile. I go to them now.
Better.
I visit them at their homes. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure at the beginning we're not going to talk about prices. We're not here to rip people off. We're not after your money. We just want pure, natural experiences that we can talk about, which we can show you. And like John said, we've got lots of videos we can put on here and mix together of real events that's happened. We're not here to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. It takes a lot to come on a screen and actually convince people what you're doing is for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's down to you as the person watching this. If you want to overcome certain things, fears, phobias, addictions, whatever it is, then we'll discuss that. I'll give you some techniques that you can use, and we'll follow up with your development. And if you want to talk about it and express how good you're feeling, which most people do, it'd be good to help other people as well. So, but the initial videos that I've got was taken quite a lot of time ago. Actually, it's 2009, 2010. These sort of videos. It's all but I was using the camcorder at the time, and asked their permission. I just said, can I video the before and the after? And if they say no, that's fine. I'll still do it. It doesn't matter. I'm there to help people at the end of the day. This is what it's about. It's about helping people. It's about caring and sharing. And if you care enough and you can help, you can overcome your problem, whatever that is, you're going to share it with somebody else, and you're going to let them know, wow, it can be healed, it can be stopped. PTSD. I've helped police, I've helped fire brigade, I've helped people in all walks of life, famous people, which I can't name because there's a confidentiality there. So, but I've helped a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, and if it's in the mind, it can be helped. Simple as that.
So what we're trying to say here is this channel focuses on sharing healing stories, of course, and personal development through empathy. So join us as we discuss self-love and the body. And basically, you've got to love your body, you've got to love your mind, and we'd like to do that. So without no further ado, I'd like to ask you, once you've watched this video, please contact us. Myself or John will take your details, what the situation is at the moment. We will have an off-screen conversation with you to try and identify what we're doing. Then we'll talk about on-screen recording. So, it's all done professionally, discreet if you want it done. All you need to do is contact us, watch the channel, subscribe, and contact us. From me, Sean Martin, from John,
Thank you.
we'll look forward to hearing from you.